I always let my heart, my gut, my passion, I guess you could say, lead this show. That'll never change because that's just who I am all day, every day. But disclaimer, this show will be a little bit different. We will have Caleb Boone, Oklahoma State basketball forward and Tulsa, Oklahoma native, joining the program here in a couple hours. So obviously, check back for that. But again, this one will be a little bit different because this one should reach out to all of Big 12 country. The indelible mark that Mike Leach left on Texas Tech University and the Big 12 will never be forgotten. Texas Tech still hasn't fully recovered from them deciding ridiculously to let him go. But he went on to be successful and even more successful and then build even more success. So this hurts more than anyone not named Eddie Sutton to me. In recent memory, I can't recall another time that something very, very, very much bothered me like this. So instead of hearing the normal Oklahoma State musical themed intro, it just felt too peppy. It felt wrong. So it's not what you're going to hear. And again, my heart, my soul, my passion leads everything on this program. So with that being said, Mike Leach, sir, you go rest high on that mountain. Because sadly, your work on earth is done. I know your life on earth was troubled, and only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. So go rest high on that mountain, 'cause son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Love for the Father and the Son. That is a way I'll always remember Mike Leach. Right? Coming from that How Mummy tree that was very, very small to start off with, bringing a style of play to the game that really hadn't been fully seen. The coaching tree that you've seen branch off is amazing. From Graham Harrell, Lincoln Riley, obviously, Garrett Riley, Ruffin McNeil. The list could go on and on. Michael Crabtree was the first ever back-to-back Biletnikoff winner in college football history. You remember the Coach Bro, Cliff Kingsbury air raid days. You remember the Graham Harrell air raid days. It's hard to grasp, right? In my opinion. And for us specifically, I mean, heck, you could think back to, let's say, 2007, right? You guys remember that one, that 45-49, just barn-burning track meet. It was insanely impressive, right? Guys, they put up 710 yards or 718 yards. We put up 610 yards. and they lost. How do you put up 718 yards and lose a game? Well, it's because we had Zach Robinson and Brendan Pettigrew and Russell Okung and Des Bryant and Cliff Kingsbury was the predecessor to kind of get it in motion, but Graham Harrell went off. Graham Harrell threw for 657 yards. Danny Amendola went over almost 250. Michael Crabtree went crazy. He went berserk for like 270, 260 something. And that was on not a bad team by any stretch, because I just named you some of the offensive guys. But must we forget, that was a Parrish Cox led attack. That was a Jacob Lacey led attack. Nathan Peterson, everybody remembers him in Cowboy lore. Martell Van Zant was a pretty salty corner. Donovan Woods was a converted quarterback to play that kind of the very beginning of the hybrid role of the linebacker that would later become kind of like a Calvin Bundage. Kind of a little bit of what we see now from a Colin Oliver, right? That hybrid type. A lot of that started then. And a lot of that started with Mike Leach. If we weren't that talented, wouldn't have stood a chance. Do we need to completely dive in and talk about what he did to us in 2008? No, we don't. But if you do look back and you do focus on, some of that time frame, one of the things that obviously caught my eye was the innovation that Gundy instituted all the time, right? When we've already talked, when Gundy was the offensive coordinator for Les Miles. So for Tatum Bell's, kind of come up. It was fun. And Mike Gundy was very creative, very innovative. And Les Miles was a gambler, a riverboat gambler, who always took chances. Well, if you watch the 07 highlights, I think we all should. It's fun to see, guys. That was the emergence, the coming out party in 2007 of Kendall Hunter. Dontrell Savage rushed for over 125 yards. Brendan Pettigrew had a massive game. In 2008, that was when we kind of saw, a little bit more usage of fullback. We used Julius Crossland, obviously, a little bit earlier on into 07. 2008, that's when we saw Brian Ward leading the way. And you saw Keith Toston, one of my favorite OSU running backs ever, to kind of get his feet wet in Lubbock. Now, they were ranked number 2 in America. We were ranked number 9. It didn't go our way. Michael Crabtree, once again, put on an absolute show with Graham Harrell. And watching Mike Leach and Mike Gundy play chess with the offensive game was fun. We used to do a lot of crazy, innovative stuff. Right? In 2007, we ran a lot of option. Dontrell Savage, again, had over 125 yards in 2007 against Texas Tech and Stillwater. Kendall Hunter was close to that range. Kendall Hunter and Keith Toston kind of, were that 1-2 combo. In 08, that was massively beneficial to O State. Everybody knows who Des Bryant is. Everybody knows who Michael Crabtree is. Graham Harrell's doing big things in the coaching game nowadays. Right now he's at West Virginia, and you saw them offensively be able to pull some rabbits out of the bag this season and pull off some big-time upsets, including beating us. But, yeah, does this one not hurt just a little bit more than I thought it would? Yeah, it does. What he was building at Mississippi State was very impressive. They're knocking on that doorstep. It'll be interesting what direction they go. But nonetheless, the imprint that Mike Leach left on the game, unforgettable. His sound bites on a constant basis, weekly, were like the gym to college football. Could you imagine? I would love being a journalist or a reporter or something like that, just to cover Mike Leach. Like if I get out of college and I have a broadcasting or sports media type of degree, I want to go wherever that dude was. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Mike Gundy's aggressive play calling. His insane innovation that he would do, the fake punts and field goals, whatever. So, as we take a look back at a little bit of what Mike Leach was able to do and why it's important for us to remember it, because we remember Zach Robinson and Brendan Pettigrew and Kendall Hunter and Dontrell Savage and Des Bryant and Darius Bowman and Jacob Lacey and Paris Cox. Ricky Price even played in the NFL for a little bit. Obviously, Jacob Lacey had a pretty long career with the Indianapolis Colts. Paris Cox played a long time with the Niners, San Francisco 49ers, as well as other teams. Brendan Pettigrew was a staple for the Detroit Lions. Kendall Hunter they loved him in San Francisco. And when he finally got, his big time shot, biggest injury of his entire life happens. So we remember all that. Zach Robinson is obviously a legend in the coaching game when it comes to quarterback development. Not only stretching from his quarterback camp in Texas, but to obviously his stint now. I think he's on year 4 or 5 with the LA Rams. So his work with Jared Goff, his work with Matt Stafford, the transitional capabilities. Baker Mayfield just recently thanked Zach Robinson for being one of the guys who was massively instrumental in getting him prepared for his most recent comeback win. So we remember all those guys. But we don't always remember Mike Leach. Maybe it's because of the bull honky way he got booted out of Lubbock. I mean, they kind of they screwed themselves just because they had a kid whose daddy was Craig James, and he was all over ESPN. And Mike Leach wanted to coach him and teach him some humility. Try to show him a little bit more integrity goes a long ways. So yeah, he put him in like a boiler room to do an extra bike workout. And instead of just taking it like a man, Craig James' son took it like a little pansy and went crying and whining to Daddy. And Daddy got on national television and started crying and whining too. And Mike Leach got fired because it didn't look good. Weak. That is the definition of Charmin soft. Whoever catered and backed off, you honestly, let's call a spade a spade. Texas Tech deserved to go into shambles as they had for so long. Right? That's karma. That's pirate karma, to be exact. Now, obviously, again, with Joey McGuire, it appears as though they're turning that ship around. But for a decade plus, more than that, actually, their ship was sideways. Texas Tech maybe just got their ship going straight again since the loss of Mike Leach. And then he goes to Washington State, starts shattering records, all sorts of records. And he goes to Mississippi State, and he starts to build a monster in the SEC. So again, today's show is different. Tune in here pretty soon, and it'll be a traditional show, but it's felt right. As again, this one hit me. And I hope it hits you. Because he is a legend. And you don't see any really left like him. You could argue Mike Gundy is a little spunky sometimes, but maybe this, as much as I'm praying, it does reinvigorate Gundy and ignite his passion and his remembrance, I guess you could say, of those days, the days that he did coach aggressively. He did play call aggressively. He went for it on fourth downs a lot on his side of the field even. So when that all went away, 2014, 2015, why? Oh, whatever. Doesn't really matter why. All we can ask for and all we can hope for is that maybe something like this relights that fire for Mike Gundy. What can be more of an ignition source than the guy you used to have to plan for the most? The guy that you knew, this is a statement. If I can go in here and outperform offensively the great air raid system of Mike Leach, then it's going to mean something. And then you see that system kind of carry over at Houston. And then we bring in Dana Holgerson to basically steal a little bit of Mike Leach. So again, there's a lot of connections. It does matter. It should matter. Hopefully it matters to Gundy as much as it matters to me. Hopefully we all send our prayers, thoughts, well wishes to the Leach family, because we have lost an icon. And I do hope that Texas Tech makes it right, because they didn't do him right. So, yeah, that's today's show for this round one. Round two will be in a little bit with Caleb Boone. But this was important to me. Maybe it's not important to you. And if it's not, it is what it is. And tune in for the Caleb Boone show here in like an hour or so, because it'll be pretty normal. But this one's not. And I don't think it should have been. So that's all I got for this one. As always, I love you all. I even love you all in Stark Vegas, Mississippi at the moment, and all of the Leach family. Hopefully God blesses you as you guys go through this tumultuous time. And hopefully God blesses all of us with more time with the ones that we love, with more opportunities to have more grace and forgiveness. Because again, life is too short. It's not just a bumper sticker you see on the back of a car. It happens. So let's try to be better at appreciating the ones around us a little bit more, especially on this holiday season. God bless. Go Pokes. And for today, Wreckham, Hail State. Thank you, sir, for everything you have given the game of college football, the Big 12, and having a little piece of our heart and minds in Stillwater, Oklahoma, at Oklahoma State University. This is Locked On Oklahoma State. Thank you kindly for stopping by. I can't wait for the next one here in, like I said, an hour and a half, 2 hours. He's at a workout session right now, so we'll let him get back to the dorms and squared away before we strap him in here. All righty, y'all.